Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Inside the Headset. Week 9, Game 9, and I'm here with the head flame keeper himself, Coach Philip Shadowens. Well, last week we played Oakland Patriots and came away with a win. I dropped the video off, and I'm just going to let you take it from there.
Great win for our program last week, especially the way we did it. You know, obviously being down 14-0 the first quarter, or early in the second quarter, I should say, and then bouncing back in the second quarter, making it 14-9 at half, and then after that, just a defensive struggle, and then obviously at the end of the game, big drive, big 2-minute drill, drove 88 yards in 49 seconds, hit a couple big plays, and kids showed a lot of hard character and all the things that you want to see take place on a Friday night in a game like that. So, you know, just one win, no bigger than that. Obviously, exactly what we wanted, and puts ourselves in a pretty good position. But it's just one win, and we're back down to reality, back to work this week, and kids came back on Monday ready to go.
Well, and so this week, what kind of practices have you had looking toward the Bruins?
Monday and Tuesday was a typical Monday and Tuesday day, you know, pretty physical. And I think that's a difference in our football team right now is that the physicality they're playing with, and that gives us opportunities to have a chance to beat anybody we play, obviously. So same thing on Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday I took the pads off, which I don't do very often, and went out just in helmets and did a lot of just live running things, run through stuff, and just sensed that our kids had been physical Monday and Tuesday, needed a little break from the killing each other and banging each other in practice, and so we did that because we certainly expect another great game tonight and a big physical battle tonight. And you know, when you play against Brentwood, which is one of the top 5 or 6 teams in the state, I don't know what they're ranked, but they're ranked up there somewhere. But they're one of the top 5 or 6 teams in the state. You know, you're gonna get a physical battle, and I want our kids to make sure we have our legs under us and are ready to go tonight. So another good week of practice, great preparation by our kids and our coaches, and should be a good game tonight.
Was pointed out to me earlier in the week by a parent slash fan that you've had several different platoons in your backfield and on your teams and stuff, but on the defensive side, speaking of that, you have a very intelligent defensive side. It seems like you have a lot of high ACT scores and whatnot. Can you talk to that a little bit? And that's the difference you've had over your 17 years. This is probably one of the smartest bunches you've had in the backfield and on that defensive side of the ball.
Yes, well, certainly, we have a lot of kids on this football team that are very good academically. Our linebackers on defense in particular, Jake Armstrong, Jess Patton, Joseph Rabier are all kids that have really high GPAs and unbelievable ACT scores, and much higher than mine was. But you're talking about 28s and 29s and 30s
Wow.
on the ACT. Obviously, our quarterback's the same way. You know, he's a 4.0 student also, and hasn't taken the ACT, but will probably make 31, 32. He's really intelligent. So we have, and it's not just him. We have numerous kids on our football team. We have a group of kids on our football team that are really smart, and you know, you're able to do a little bit more, maybe install a little bit more, especially defensively with coverages and things like that. But when Friday night at 7:30 comes, I'm not sure how much it necessarily helps you in the physicality of the ball game, but it certainly helps you when you're installing things. These kids learn very easily, and once you tell them some things and ask them to do certain things or what you expect, they're certainly able to go through with that and do that because they are intelligent.
Beautiful segue. You didn't even, of course, we never talk about the show. We do this uncanned and everything. I was listening to Bill Oliver the other day on the Feinbaum show, and he was talking about the first thing that the defense has to know is you have to know the coverage you're in. You have to know how many backs you got, how, you know, what kind of help you got, and that's just what you're talking about. When you talk about defensive schemes for those out there that don't or just new or kind of watching the game, you've got to know where your D-backs are, your linebackers are, and also your safety to know that it's not all about just one man going into tackle, this man going into tackle. It's kind of a geography deal. Could you talk to that a little bit and knowing where your help is as you approach the runner or if he's coming towards you?
There's a lot of things you got to know from a secondary standpoint, a linebacker standpoint. There are a lot of checks. You know, we're a defense that has a lot of checks based on formation, based on personnel, based on number of backs, number of tight ends. Depends what the game plan is as to what our checks are going to be on that particular Friday night. But in order to do that and get all the pieces fitting together, you have to have 11 guys working together, obviously. So those checks have to be accurate, and they have to be communicated from one side of the field to the other side of the field. And without those things, and you end up having, you know, half your people in one thing and half in another, and it causes real problems. So, you know, we've been able because our kids communicate so well, because our kids are intelligent, we've been able to do a lot of things with them and make sure it's communicated from one side of the field to the other. And been pretty successful defensively. I think really this little stretch one we've made, I think our defense has really stepped forward, and a lot of that's due to the physicality of the play, and some of that's to do with being able to get us in the right defense and what we want against certain looks, and our kids are intelligent enough to do that, and all those pieces have to work together in order to be successful, and that's been happening pretty regular here lately.
Yeah, and that's great. And the biggest thing about it is we're facing a team tonight, and Coach Crawford, and we segue right into that, and that is they know how to run it too. Watching the film last night when they played Oakland on TV, boy, they'll shut you down on the end, and they'll shut you down in the middle, and they're gonna be ready for us. I mean, if somebody's thinking this is gonna be an easy game, they're wrong. I mean, we're really gonna be tested again, and even next Friday, don't even want to talk about it, but boy, tonight in about 12 hours, we're really going to get tested.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, without a doubt, one of the best football teams around. They've lost two. They lost to Oakland, and Oakland scored with, I think, 19 seconds left on a long pass to win that one. So they had an opportunity to win that football game. I do think Oakland is a better overall football team probably than Brentwood from an athletic standpoint.
Right. And on paper.
But Oakland let them hang around, and Brentwood had made a play, and then Oakland was forced to drive, kind of like what happened Friday night with us. We had to drive the length of the field to win it, and Oakland had to do the same thing as Brentwood and did that. Then Brentwood also lost to Smyrna, and we're going for two with a few seconds left to tie it, and didn't get it. I mean, so the two ball games they've lost have been to Oakland and Smyrna.
And we got to play them both.
And of course we've played both those teams also, and so Brentwood would be right in the mix in our district. Obviously, they'd be one of those top teams in our district. They have a legitimate chance to be in Cookville at the end of the year. I've emphasized that to our kids, all week long. I think they know that. They know who Brentwood is, and Brentwood's not going to sneak up on you. And,
No.
Certainly I expect our kids to play with a lot of confidence, but not arrogance. And we've stressed that this week. And they've done a good job of preparing. Now what's inside their heads and all those kind of things. We won't find out until about game time. But based on preparation this week, I know our kids are ready to go, and I know they respect Brentwood. They understand how good they are. They've watched video of them, and they understand it's going to be a battle tonight, and it's going to be one of those that can go either way. And it's going to be the team that plays with the most commitment, the team that's focused on this game. They have a big game next week too. They play Franklin, their big rival.
Oh my gosh!
We play Riverdale, which is one of our numerous rivals we have here in this county. So we've talked about that, about the team that can focus on tonight's game. Because it comes down to seeding, the playoffs, home games, all those kind of things.
This is the part we enjoy.
And so it's fun. I mean, it's just you kind of setting yourself up for postseason right now, and we want to set ourselves up in a good position, and we want to go into the postseason on a positive note. And we've been able to win 5 in a row since losing to Smyrna, and we want to continue that trend and get better every week. And I fully expect, as I told our kids yesterday after practice, I expect tomorrow night to be our best football game of the year to this point. I expect us to play well, to play physical, to execute well on offense and special teams. And I mean, week 9, you should be better than week 8. And if you're doing what you're supposed to in practice, in the weight room and all those kind of things, then you should continue to progress every week. And I expect tonight to be our best football game of the year.
Well, let's just do it. Let's do it. Anything else, Coach, you'd like to add, or just anything other than that we're really enjoying this year? This is a lot of fun. I mean,
absolutely. Got a great group of kids to work with, and they've been really dedicated and very loyal to one another, and it's, truly a family on this football team, and that's what it's about. Excuse me. It's that once in a lifetime experience we get in high school football, and I tell the kids you got to take advantage of it. You only get to do it once, and they're surely having a lot of fun. Winning football games makes it easier to have fun, but in the locker room and on the practice field and all those things, they're having fun with each other and making some great memories. And this train's just started rolling. We don't want it to derail tonight, and so we expect to execute and win tonight and keep that fun atmosphere going and continue to improve. And if we do those things that we're supposed to do, then the scoreboard always takes care of itself.
You'll call the plays, they'll execute them, and we'll see what happens. It's all about them, and we'll just see what happens. You join us here tonight at the Inferno, 7:30. Brentwood Bruins come over to take on the Blaze. We'll see you there.